Welcome back to season 2 of Let's Go.podcast. You have myself, Tim Fisher, and
I'm Jordan Jamiola. Season 2. Welcome back.
We're back, dude. It's we ended season 1 in December, which was great. We took a month off like we traditionally do. We take January off, and now we've changed to more of a seasonal format. So this is the start of season 2. We're going to do about 8 to 10 episodes, take maybe a month or two off, and then back and do another season. So this way, it's just kind of more easy. I don't want to say easier on us, but we're all starting to grow our families, and we need to start making sure that's a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of which, congratulations on the addition. We don't need to say any names. It's up to you.
It's okay. Yeah.
So
no, thank you so much. Yeah. Lots happened. We had our third baby, and
Amazing,
there's been all the stuff that goes with that. It's been super awesome. I was actually chatting with Tim a little bit before. Our life it's just busier.
I'm sure, man.
And it's like every step, every kid, it's been like these big changes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember someone telling me, like, once you have 2, the next, it's all easy.
Is that true? They're saying 3 is easy.
Yeah, like, so anything after 2 is supposedly easier. And I think they're full of shit. And I want to say that on camera. And I say that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah,
like
I got you.
And not that it's a bad thing. It's just busier. So is it, when I think of that statement, is it being like, oh, it's easier? I'd be like, I wouldn't say easier. It's just more of stuff. You know? But at the end of the day, it's super rad. And we're so blessed. And I'm so happy.
I'll tell you this, man. It's from my perspective of being, you're, gosh, I'm gonna say, yeah, you're definitely, my sister's my best friend, and so is somebody else over here. What's up? But you're one of my best friends. It's really great to, like we talked about earlier, it's so cool to see you become a father the first time, the second, and now third, and getting married to Christine. I still remember when we went surfing, and you said, hey, I'm gonna go on this date with this girl tonight in San Diego. Like, I don't know if I should or not. This and that. I'm like, dude, go have fun.
You're like,
yeah, now you're married.
Yeah, no,
it's so cool.
It is.
It's rad.
It's crazy to reflect, on it,
yeah.
and I feel like we've been pretty busy, since we've gotten together. So, but I love it, and I think that if Christine hears this, she's gonna be like, he's full of shit. And the reason why I'm saying that
does she even listen?
Oh yeah, probably this one for sure. No, but the reason what I'm saying is that it's like every day is a learning moment, and the things that I thought that I had ironed out.
Yeah,
you're like sometimes you get challenged with that, and like for me, I was telling you earlier, dude, it's patience. Oh, and not saying that as like, oh, I wish I had more. No, I do. I wish I had more patience with a lot of things. And I think that, especially like with the managing of the kids and all that kind of stuff, where I end up being like, oh, but I'm thinking like, dude, they're little. This is a moment, it's like, and you said this earlier too. It's like you're living in this small moment in time, and yeah, it's, busy and sometimes frantic and whatnot, but it's like the things that you'll remember forever. It's like how many times we have conversations on here where we're reflecting these like funny instances of childhood, you know, and it's like, I do have to remind myself of that, because it's like, those are the things that I would talk about, like these momentous occasions and things that happen, whether funny or crazy, whatever. When I was a kid, it's like now I'm living in the parent perspective of that right now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty rad. And, and it's like, yeah, obviously I will get better at having more patience, but you get tested all the time, so.
Well, it's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
It's rad. It's encouraging. I want to start a family one of these days. I can't wait to be a father. I've always wanted to be one. But to see how we've known each other for so long. We've started our careers together, surfing as young guys, having good times, going on snowboard trips. And now it's like we're reaching this different season in life where we're all starting families. And, congratulations to Sam and his lady. Sam, our camera operator, he got engaged. Woo! Like, hello, what's up?
Yeah,
we are so happy and excited for him. And then also, excuse me, Evan Nelson, he got engaged as well. He's our contributor on the monthly.
He's the jacked white dude that shows up on here with the Thor haircut.
Yeah, our monthly reviews. I don't know why I'm blanking out. Yeah, our monthly reviews. He's super jacked. He was my trainer a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's great to see everybody just I guess, evolving, but getting better and moving through life and seeing everyone happy.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that I love to see is when my friends and my family succeed and they're happy, I'm happy. You know, it's not about the monetary things. It's just making sure your people are taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, that's me. And by the way, so everybody sees this.
Are you going to address it?
Yeah, I'm going to address the finger in the room right now. I have a brace on, and yes, it's on my middle finger. This happened surfing on a very fun day. It was probably 8 feet. I don't surf with a leash, and I ride a longboard, and I was doing my bottom turn on a nice 8-foot wave, and I was going to wipe out. So, as I traditionally do, when I'm going to wipe out, I sacrifice my body for the board. Well, as I was going down to jump on the board, like all the weight, somehow my middle finger got caught first. And all the weight of going down went in that. And it felt slow motion, and it just, I could feel the pain growing. Like, and then my face hit the board. Oh, dude, it was such a mess.
Yeah.
And my feet went up. It was almost like I scorpioned. Yeah, and then, of course, I got turned up. Well, so that's why I have this brace. It's kind of, we're trying to do this show, and I'm trying to drink here. It's not working. It is what it is.
Hey, you just gotta roll with it. You know, it's all good. And to your credit, though, I will say, getting injured surfing, it's one of the shittiest spots to get hurt doing.
Absolutely.
Like as far as sports go, right? You go down on a field, you hurt something. It's like you're at least like on your feet.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'd imagine like injuring yourself, like skydiving, is probably pretty gnarly. But like being in the water and you have an injury take place, you really have that like secondary, like, oh shit, can I swim?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that vibe going on, you know? So it's it's funny because, or it's not funny, it sucks. I'm sorry about your finger.
No,
I hope it heals up good. It's like I tore something in my shoulder surfing one time. And it wasn't a crazy big day, but it was like maybe head high or whatever. And something happened where like all I did was dig my arm in the water. And I felt something tear in my shoulder. Oh, like as I took off, you know, I was trying to like slow up a little bit.
What? So you could feel the tear happening.
Yeah, it was like my arm was in the water and just like,
Jordan,
you know,
no.
But what was funny is that somehow the board still hit me in the face because it was like, you know, it felt the tear, pitched, hit me in the face, and as I'm coming down, it's like you get whacked in the chin. And it was the one where it's like you kind of bite your tongue. Yeah. I don't think I've ever fallen surfing and not hit my head on the board.
Yeah. I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing.
It's okay. Laugh at me. I'm good.
Because that's happened to me. Where you're like kind of falling and you think you're like in control and it's just smack. Boom. And you're like, whoa. It's very startling.
It's firm.
Yeah.
It's not like a ricochet slap ever. It's more like the thud. And you're like, I feel like you feel it in your head, then your neck.
And the first thing I think of when that happens is, did somebody see that?
That's true.
You know, I'm always like, I don't want to look stupid in the water right now.
That is the first, I feel like most people surfing, like unless you like, well, maybe even the pros probably think of it that way. But like you kind of like your first thought, like especially if you ate it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
He saw me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, over New Year's, after we did our last episode for season 1, which was I think officially 171 episodes.
Ring the bell.
Let's go, people. So that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Thank you to the team, Sam, to everybody who's contributing, everyone listening. We were downloaded officially in 56 countries, and we were the top 25% of all podcasts.
That's crazy. What do you think the most obscure country is?
Oh, we have to look. I have to look on the data chart that our host website gives us.
And I don't know all of them.
There's some. I look because I hit countries.
Yeah.
And it'll tell. My first thought is, how in the world did you find out about us?
I think this.
That's what I think.
Because like when you see the downloads from like India, you're like, I'm assuming like this isn't we don't like put anything out there that I don't think it could be translated, right? So it's like you have to know English to listen to it. Right. So it's like, to me, I'm like, God, dude, someone's so like, what were you searching? How far did you go down, or what were you looking for? You know what I mean? That you came across. And it's like, because there's multiple, not just like a one-off, download from these areas. And you're like, dude, we made it to India. That's sick.
No.
Well, hey, maybe one day we'll do a podcast out there.
Well, I thought about that. They have to know English, or
You think
maybe
they're talking shit? They just
no,
listen
here's
in
the
to
thing.
make
Here's
fun
what
of
I
us?
thought. And it made me laugh a lot. Was maybe they're learning English, or they know English, and they think that we know what's up. Like, these are real Americans. You got to listen to them.
Ooh, man.
And my first thought was like, you got the wrong people, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of common sense being thrown around on this show. But that is funny. Like,
It
you
is.
take this, like, because I know, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? It's like, it's their, like, oh, maybe like someone way out there is listening thinking like, this is the most current updates and like exactly what's going on.
I know.
I never thought of it that way.
That's
it makes
how I
me feel
thought.
like there's a little more pressure, I guess.
Yeah, dude, a little bit. When I saw we were downloading 56 countries, I was kind of shocked a little bit. And it was kind of encouraging too. I was like, oh wow, like, so what we're doing is working. People are listening. You can see the downloads. They've always gone up.
Yeah.
But to see the different countries and to see like hey, your top 25% of all podcasts was cool. That encouraged me at the end of the year. I was like, okay, I'm liking what we're doing, and then also to get the messages from people asking, hey, when are you coming back? Miss you guys. Stuff on social media.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You just kind of realize, oh, people are listening and they like what's happening. So I'll have to say, good job, bro.
Hey, you
You
too,
know what I'm saying, man? Remember when we started on a plastic table?
I do remember. I remember the first episode very well, actually.
Yeah, we were a little messed up, a little loose.
It was fun though. I mean, it was
a lot of fun.
But that was the point of it. It was just to see. It was a trial run.
Well, it goes back to what you said with your children. Oh, look, well, careful. Man.
Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah, no. It goes back to like what you said with your kids. It's almost like you don't realize you're living in the good old days and in great moments until your years pass and you realize, oh wow, that was a moment. Those were the good old days. That was cool. Because you look back and honestly, those times when we first started, to me, are precious. Because, we didn't know what we were doing. We had no clue what was going on. But even with your kids now, thinking back on it and how it could be stressful, frustrating, all these responsibilities. But like we talked about earlier before we started the podcast, I remember I told you like, hey, dude, this, and you haven't talked about it, but it's just like, hey, this is a lot. And the cool thing is like, that's your family, and these moments are only happening once. They're only kids once.
Yep.
The newborn is only a little baby once.
Absolutely.
And then once that's over, it's over, dude.
Yeah.
And that's something that has hit a few people I know that are like older. Even my dad, he's like, man, I don't realize how fast this will go. You guys are adults. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I'm about to be freaking 40 years old, 2 years. It's crazy.
It is nuts. And you just think, yeah, God, I was trying to, it was in the show The Office, but I was saying a saying along the lines of like, I wish you could know it's the good old days while you're going through them versus like years down the road. And, and I think that just comes down to like what I was saying earlier is just like enjoying the moment that you're in, and I think that it is important, and there's a lot of them, and that's what's cool about it, and just excited to be in the situation,
well, be in the moment, right?
Yeah, being in the moment and looking forward to like the future, because like I don't know, I like foresight a lot, I think, and
you're a planner.
I think, a little bit, maybe not as much on paper, but always mentally.
Yeah, but, you and I both, dude.
Yeah, but and it's cool, man. It's like a fun situation to be in, and getting to experience it because we are fortunate, and it's super rad, man. I'm pretty stoked on it.
Yeah, I've tried to, I want to say, Sam two's here. I think over the past year, I've kind of been working on that consciously about being more present and spending more time at home. I'm like you, Jordan. My dad, the way I grew up and was taught, always be a planner. Always have a plan A, B, and C. You got to think to the future. Your nest egg. You got to save here, and you want to buy property because property is where the money's at. And it's going to grow equity, and you want to do this. You make sure you get a good car here, and where do I want to go with my career? And I found myself I started noticing I was so wrapped up in thinking about the future goals and what I need to do. I was missing out in the present and not realizing how I am very blessed and I have a lot. And it is because of hard work. It's not to boast, but it's not easy especially in Southern California, to do well and have a home and all these things. And it's like I got so caught up in success and looking to the future, you don't realize like you're missing out in the present.
Yeah.
Be home. You know what? Burn that PTO.
Yeah.
Use that sick leave, because guess what? Your job, when you're dead and gone, they're not going to care about you. You were just an employee, and that's not to sound mean, but I saw something.
I'll make
about
it sound
that.
mean because they don't. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So we can get past that because, dude, 100%. Yeah. You're right. You have to. It basically and I don't have this shit ironed out at all. Excuse me, I'm a little loose with the cursing. I feel like we've gone on a good run without it. Anyway, but I found that like it's literally everything is a balancing act. Everything. All aspects of life, and exactly what you said, because like, you know, I definitely have been the same way, planning for the future, and most times like financially, you know, and investments and and it's like I have been fortunate with a handful of things over the years, which is great, but it's like, you know, having that same mindset like distracts from the family environment too. And that's like what I have, like, I don't like that part.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, where the struggle, when I say that there is a struggle, it is being more present in the time periods, and not just like for myself and my relationship with my entire family, but just like, it's important, you know, but also you can't lose sight of those other parts of you as well.
It's like you said, the balancing act.
It's a balance, you know, and there is a certain amount, and like, listen, I miss all the time. You know what I mean? But it's like, I also feel like I try to be cognizant of it as best I can. Of course, no one's perfect, but I do think like, and that's like the fun part, you know, like, and just cause you don't know. And like in life, as crazy as it is, you know, somehow seems to, you know, find a way to balance it too in your life, you know? And I think that it's you know, I've said it like 10 times now already, but I'm super blessed about everything that I'm in currently right now. And, you know, it's like, I wouldn't change nothing, you know, other than like maybe if we made more money at work, or had more time off, because Tim, you're freaking right, dude. It is important.
Yeah. That being with your family, I was talking to someone this the other day. We'll always have opportunity to make more money, to do well in your career and in your job. But the one thing that we have that you'll never get back is your time. Our time is priceless. And we're exchanging that time for money to be able to live a good life and provide for our families. So it's like everyone, right? We're always trying to figure out how can we cut out giving up of my time to make money, and I can do something and it's fine, you know, like I can be home more.
Sure.
But that's the one thing that I realized, and I've had a conversation with a lot of older firefighters who have regret, that they said, like, you know, we bought into this whole give back to the fire department, make sure you pick up your phone for overtime, you know, give back to the fire department. And they didn't realize that they were missing out on so much at home, that their kids were graduating high school and they had this realization like, oh my gosh, I was never around. I don't remember their childhood. I was always working. And one of the guys, his son even approached him about it. He graduated high school, and he said that, you know, he retired finally as a firefighter from a department down here. And his son said, yeah, Dad, ever since you retired, you know, you just seem different. And he said, what do you mean? He's like, oh, all I remember as a kid growing up is you were always gone, and when you come home, you'd be yelling at us. I'm like, dang, dude. And when he told me that, I can see him get a little emotional. Yeah. I saw the tears in his eyes, and he said, that is my biggest regret, was being at work more than I was at home. Yeah. You know, and that hit me like a ton of bricks, because I had talked to him about how I'm changing certain things in my life. And I was telling him that. I was like, yeah, I'm just doing this, and I'm taking this away, and because I just want to be home. I want to do it right this time. Yeah. I want to enjoy my time. And he's like, Fish, you're on the right path and you're doing the right thing. You will not regret it. And that's when we got into that story. Yeah. And he's like, don't worry about all the other stuff and participating in other stuff at work and picking up overtime. He's like, the money will be there, but your family. He's like, I can't get that time back with my son ever again. And when he told me that, he said it broke his heart. Yeah. You know, I don't, and I see that. And that's not talking bad on people who, you know, they want to invest their whole life in their career. That's cool, but the sad part is I've seen a lot of them end up with pretty terrible lives. And as far as divorces and losing a lot of money and that type of thing, and your kids not liking you because you're not around, and then you're just miserable. And I don't want that. My heart and my thinking has changed so much when it comes to what's important in life. And I used to be sold out on the career of firefighter. That was me. Like, first 5-10 years. But then it's like, you still got people who are going to let you down. The money's there, but I'm paying more in taxes and this and that. But I get more money in my bank account, but I'm at home. I'm missing out on things with my nieces and nephews. I don't have any kids yet. Yeah. And, I'm once divorced. I don't want to do that anymore. I just don't. It's not me. I want to make sure I'm putting my time into people and things that matter.
Yeah, and I think staying, like I said earlier, is trying to be cognizant of it. Because everyone's situation is different, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know who you're referencing in that, and I totally can empathize with him, and that's someone who's ran their life through their job, right? So it's like I still feel like I'm kind of in the middle, or maybe the second half of the middle, right? Yeah. And you just have to look at it, where it's like, you got to find out what's important. Now, again, sorry, I'm backtracking. So it's situational, right? So it's like the cost of everything is very high. Mm-hmm. Base salary rate isn't that high, or is at least let's say in the 80s, or no, I'm sorry, like the 90s, being a firefighter. Yeah, you can work no overtime, maybe have a little second job, but you can buy a house wherever you're working and be able to supply a lot.
Cost of living was very low.
Cost of living is a little bit different now. And again, if the situation for the home life dictates having to work overtime, I can empathize with that. But I also, if you don't have to, it is important to be at home. And I feel like it's kind of like you have the opportunity to, you got to just weigh weigh the scales. And if things need to be changed, or are you doing a selfie? Sorry, backtrack. No, but if things need to be changed, you just have to be cognizant of it. So if it's like, hey, I got to work X amount of overtimes to make sure I cover my monthly bills, I get that.
Right.
But then it's also like, well, don't be the same guy that works 9 overtimes in a month, right. because you kind of become like I don't want to use that term, but you depend on that. You depend on that too much. Whereas then it's like, well, what's the real difference if you work 2 less overtimes a month and you're home 2 more days? And at the end of the year, it's like, all right, I maybe didn't make 14 grand, but I have a better relationship with my kids and my wife and stuff like that. So it is important. And I'm a dogging anybody, dude.
Right,
you got to do you. I'm just saying from my perspective, when I hope that I can be what I'm saying and know that it is important to spend the time at the house and, family and kind of evaluating. But I do think something that is important, and not to take away from what you're saying at all, because you do learn through all your experiences too, right? And that mindset and mentality of gung-ho this because you believe in it, it led you to where you're at now, and it led me to where I'm at too. So as much as I get upset at things that wow, man, I wish I would have handled life a little bit differently at these times, or maybe not been all about work so much. Mm-hmm. I do feel like everything has set me on a course to this moment. Yeah. And I think that's super important. And, you can always change what you haven't done yet. Yeah. And I think that's why it's like, okay, well, yeah, dude, I'm a grinder. You're a grinder. You got things, and none of it's boastful, but I have set myself up good. Yeah. And, but now I get to share it with somebody and create this for my kids, and hopefully that's the same for you, or in however you want to do that moving forward. But taking the time and understanding the importance is I think that's big. And I think that's what differentiates the people that from this point moving forward in their careers, especially in this industry. You see guys that wipe out.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They're just okay, I'm a victim of the overtime and I gotta be gone and I gotta do this and I gotta do that. And the next thing you know, you have your buddy's story when your kids are going, you were never here, Yeah. Or you go, oh shit, okay, maybe I need to, I'm not going to stop, but I need to be more aware of things at the time, or maybe meld those things a little bit better moving forward. Yeah. Sorry, that was a long rant.
No, you're good. It was all spot on. It's, It's one of those things too. I don't think a lot of us realize that how much it wears on us mentally. We see. I finally found a new article. I'm trying to remember who wrote it, but it was saying how in our careers we will see 400 to 600 people die.
Huh.
And in the average civilian, it's 1 to 2.
I'd also believe that.
Yeah. That is a lot. That takes a toll on you. That's not normal. That's not average. We're not meant to see violent things all the time. And we do. Wow. And it wears at you. And we cope with it. We learn, over the time we learn. Our humor's dark. I'm just going to say it right now. We have very, very dark humor. We're grittier type people. But it's not normal. It wears on you. And that's why you're seeing, unfortunately, these suicide rates up. Not just in civilians, but he's also in first responders. And it's even higher in our police. Yeah. That, which is a bummer because I don't care what people think. We need law enforcement. That whole defund the police, get out of here. Go leave the country, go do that somewhere else. I completely support.
I support it.
Support law enforcement. So it's just I don't know, man. Sometimes we're a victim of our own success at times. Yeah. What we think, how I grew up and what my dad instilled in me and what I saw as a teenager being an explorer, it's just everything's about your career. Now, you want to do well in life. You should. You don't want to just sit around and try and get free handouts. That's not going to work for you. You need to work for what you want. You need to get educated. You need to get trained in a trade to do well for yourself and provide. But sometimes I feel like people, even myself, will put that above everything, is success and work. And where that's how it changed for me a lot was coming back to my faith, I would say probably a year and a half ago, and nurturing that. Now, look, I'm going to tell you right now. I say come back to my faith, and I absolutely 100% believe in God. I believe in what Jesus has done for me and that he died for my sins, and he saved me, and I believe it. I'm yes. Now, am I going to sit here and be the poster child for Christianity? I am not the poster child for Christianity, okay? I have my own issues, my own problems, and things I'm trying to work through. But in my heart, I know who he is to me, Yeah. So, coming back to my faith has changed my outlook on work. Not just how I treat people and how I treat the ones I love and how I'm going to live my life and try and be a better person that aligns with how, the Lord was when he was on this earth and the Gospels. But even work. What am I doing with my time? Our life is, it says in the Bible, is but a vapor. It's it's here and gone, just like that. And I remember seeing a video, and this is I don't want to knock this guy. I'm not going to say his name. It was some company, I believe on social media, where they work on New York style helmets, like fixing them or selling them or something like that. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of East Coast departments have them. But it's it showed the cool helmet, and it came down. It was behind it, in front of American flag. And it said, "What will be your legacy?" And I remember thinking, not the fire department, that I don't want to sound like I'm not appreciative of what I have in my career. No. I enjoy my career. I think it's a calling. I think people like you and I, we do enjoy helping people. Yeah. That's what we do. Even if you're calling us at 4 a.m. and you have toe pain, it is what it is. We're going to respond. We're going to help you make sure your toe's okay. But that's us. That's
you get a high five. Yeah. You're gonna get a high five and call us back tomorrow.
But we
just kidding.
We enjoy this job. We like helping people, but I don't want my legacy to be, oh yeah, he was great at his career. That is not me. I'm dude, that's not what I want.
Yeah, but I think that's the important part of that. That's not what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And not to take away anything what you're saying, because I'm hoorahing you as you're talking, because I there are people that's meant for, the people that are so in whatever career it is. We happen to have probably the most experience in the first responder stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And there are people like that I feel like they truly want to leave a legacy behind this profession.
Yeah.
And that's totally rad. Good for you, but that's not what's important to me. And I would say probably to you, as you've gotten older and, life experience and whatnot, you you reprioritize. And, so when you see that stuff now, it's dope, dude. East Coast firefighters, you guys are badass. There's no doubt about it. I'm not comparing myself to you at all. But I don't want to leave a legacy that's just for my job. Like my legacy I want is for my family. I want my kids.
Let's
you
go.
know what I mean? Like my wife, like that, all that, you know? So,
Same.
And which is cool too, right? It's just not like, I'm not going to wear it on my fire helmet. But you know what? I would say the East Coast are the trendsetters, and I think black turnouts are dope, and I wish we could wear them. But
I know. You're so stupid.
Says like 90. No, dude, you were saying something earlier about what did you say about cost of living? Something they're not going to do. Oh, but it was going to lead me to this story about Gavin Newsom. This is the one political little.
Go ahead, dude. You're good.
Dig I'll take.
Yeah.
And when I say dig, I hope it's constructive criticism.
It's okay. He's made California such a better place.
Right?
Not.
Oh, dude, man. Did you see the last video that came out with him? It was a leaked like webinar deal, and he was sharing a story. So because it really sounded like he did not think this was going to get replayed.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so the story is, and it's a brief one, but he witnessed a robbery like at a Target, like a shoplifting thing at a Target. And he said on this webinar thing, he was trying to explain the story a little bit, and then he goes, "Yeah, so I walked up to like someone who worked there, and I don't know if it was Target, by the way. Maybe I believe it was, but
I think it was,
but if it's not, whatever. Yeah. Fill in store name. Went up to an employee and was like, "Hey, like you should stop them because you know they're stealing." And the employee said, "If it wasn't for our governor." We would stop them, except for the fact they can steal up to like $1,200 and we can't do shit. So why are we going to try to hurt ourselves over this? And then he proceeds to talk like, I can't believe they didn't know I was Gavin Newsom. And I was like, I almost feel like this video was like staged. Like that's how I feel about it, because it's like you couldn't look any dumber as a human. Like you're that pretentious. You're like, I can't believe they don't know me.
Well, think about what she said, and that was his response.
Right, not like, holy shit, you know what? She might be right.
Yes.
Maybe we have employees around here that gotta go, do we go after this one? Nah, fuck them. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing in a lot of places. So it's not like this isn't new information. But his first response is like, I can't believe she didn't know me.
Yes, that's what I thought, the same thing.
Yeah,
I read that, and then I was watching the video or whatever, and I was like, that's your first response?
Yeah. People
are stealing. There's multiple companies that are out of San Francisco. San Francisco, there's no Target. In Oakland, I think In-N-Out's gone.
They just left.
Yeah, isn't that the original In-N-Out? I believe it's the original.
No, I don't think it's the original, but it was I think it's one of the only ones in the city of Oakland. Okay. And they left because of crime issues with, you know, the store shop.
Yeah.
And they offered, like, they were like, hey, we're going to move. And they offered, like, apparently they offered everyone who works there, they're like, their job at the new location.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They were like, hey, it's just not safe, which...
That's smart on the company.
No, you're right, but I mean, like, hello.
Right.
Like, you can't even go get a burger in peace, dude. Like, I get, dude, times are tough, places are hard, there's the streets and all that. I get it. But, like, if you're like, hey, we can't go there. Not like, hey, dude, don't go out after dark.
Right.
Like, just go during the day. It's like not even that. It's just like, don't go. Don't go there, you know. And I'm sure they closed down because they probably weren't making any fucking money.
Well, no one's gonna go. Yeah, I wouldn't
go. But I'm like thinking, good God, dude, like that's a thing, you know. Not to be naive to the world, like I'm not saying that because like I can't believe it's not a thing.
Yeah, but it goes back to Gavin Newsom.
Yeah,
there's a whole thing. Like, bro, you just witnessed it. You see an employee talking trash on you, but it's not really trash; it's the truth. And the first thing you're thinking about is, oh, she didn't know me. You're terrible.
I know, but I think people won't even pick up on that.
No.
That's the sad part. Because, like, I secretly think for some reason Joe Biden's going to step down on the 100% running for president because his handlers are probably, like, running out of things to think about. Like, how do we make him not seem like Weekend at Bernie's? Hold on. How do we do that? You got the puppeteer behind. He's just, like, doing this. The person miming this guy is hammered drunk all the time. Because there's no way if he had his own consciousness, he would be talking and doing the things that he does. There's no way.
He doesn't know where he's at.
So that's why I'm saying, like, they got some crazy situation. I know that sounds nuts, and I'm trying to be funny.
Well, here's my biggest question.
He is pretty dumb, and it's kind of scary. And Not scary, like, oh, I'm going to hide. I just mean
but the fact that he can stand up there and blatantly lie when he talks and say, oh, we're doing great. My policies have been successful. Bro, you have the most people leaving a state right now in the history of people leaving California.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Biden. I was like, bro, he's good. Don't worry, because all he's got to do is he's got to show his doctor's note from 2019 that says he was diagnosed with dementia. So any shit that he said, he'll just be like, I don't even know. Tacos, you know what I'm saying?
I know. I don't think he's going to run, personally. I really don't. If anything, I almost see him stepping down and Kamala is being put in.
But it would be that, or
Michelle Obama's
you'll see Newsom. I think Newsom's going to make a run at it. And he's like that sleazy type that will probably do okay.
He doesn't have a chance. I don't think he has a chance. Everyone sees the disaster that he's created here. I mean,
I would say, yeah, I totally agree. But I mean, like, do you think though? I mean, because like he won by a lot his last election as governor, and there was like a slew of issues prior to that.
Do you think he really won by a lot? Be honest with yourself.
No, I don't think that. But without getting,
especially with him being related to Pelosi,
without me sounding like another crazy person on here, where they're going to be like, it's another right wing conspiracy theory guy. Which, I mean, I'm a conspiracy theory guy for sure, but I definitely think like. I don't understand how he like has a more than 2% lead on anything.
I know.
Like he seems pretty bad. Like he just seems bad. He's probably a nice guy, but he's a shitty
he's terrible.
Shitty guy.
Oh, he's terrible. Can you imagine if all the policies put here in California, if he were to do that as the president for the whole nation? It would be a complete nightmare. It's very close. You're right. You're right.
Off. Sorry, I don't go too political banter, but it is super interesting to see what's going to happen over this year because it sounds like Trump's going to be the front runner for the Republican Party, which is. I mean, like, I could make the argument. I think policy-wise will be great, but everyone's going to have to be a little like, oh no, what's he going to write on X?
Yeah.
Well, formerly known as Twitter.
Dude, can you imagine the amount of people he's going to go after if he wins the election?
I would think a lot.
The whole regime. I would think he's going to try and put them away.
I mean, because the amount of 91 like court cases or something like that. Like, dude, 90.
Well, why do you think the African American vote is for him now?
Because they're probably like, we get it, dude.
He's got street cred. They're like, he's like us. He's being framed. He's being jailed for no reason. Like, he gets what we're going through.
I mean, you know what? Right? And like, what an interesting way to like have a plan backfire for a group.
Oh my! Everything's backfire.
We're gonna run his shit through as much litigation as possible, and then just along the way, it's like a little bit more dirt gets dug up each time, and they're like, shit, it's starting to look bad. But I don't know. I think the system is so rigged that I think that even though, like, let's say the elections were this week, because if the elections were this week, I would think that like. Anyone not Biden would have a sincere advantage. I think that as it gets closer to that, we're going to see some wacky stuff take place. Mm-hmm. And I think like if you had any thought that the election process was a little bit questionable the last go, I think this time it's going to be like, it'll be bad.
Even worse.
Yeah. So, not to say that means like, if the person who I want to win doesn't win, like it's automatically something's, there's some backstory to it.
Right.
I just think that like in this case, there was a lot of interesting arguments the last go. And this time, if it was like, especially let's say a landslide where they were like, dude, this guy got 15 million more votes than Obama did. Like this old fucking established white guy. Got more votes than the second term first black president of all time. There's no way. There's no way. Even if you weren't a fan of Obama, there's no way.
Well, you know what crazy is? I mean, dude, people voted for him so much that they came back from the grave.
Yeah.
You know
he's
what I'm saying?
Inspiring, dude.
He's got the death vote, you know?
Yeah, dude. He's got the death vote. That would be a sick t-shirt. Like there's something there. I don't know. You could probably have a one-liner. When I saw that,
like, dude, it was some town or city on the East Coast.
Well, there's like 40 people that have died like 10 plus years ago that voted for him. You're like,
I found it comical. Like people get upset. Oh, they're so dirty. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I think it's crazy.
Elections in general are dirty. Yeah. Both ends of it.
Both ends are bad.
But dead people.
Well, the fact that they're like. They're like, yeah, this person died in like 1929, but he voted for Biden. I'm just like, you can't make this up.
Yeah.
You cannot make this madness up. It's crazy.
I mean, it's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, so like that argument in itself, or not argument, but statement in itself, the bizarre part about it is that, like, let's say, yeah, dude, dead people are voting in certain counties
Right.
forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's a small percentage. But once you get into a little bit of like where district linings and things are,
Yeah.
in some counties, 2 votes could change the entire the entire vote of the county. That's why it's like they like, I was reading an article about like a vote, like what is permissible, like what's wrong, like how much of a percentage of like we're gonna write this off is appropriate, and it's like 1%, which is still a lot. Like a lot. If you take the big scale of, if you said 1% out of the 330 something million people that live here, that's a big number, right? And can sway a lot of different stuff. So it's kind of like, we kind of just go about life going like, oh, well, this is accepted. Yeah. Oh, fucking Jimmy's great grandfather's still voting. That's crazy. You're like, no, man. Like, you can't do that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, saying that's okay is like trying to make an argument against, like, you shouldn't have to show your ID when you vote.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's and then there's thousands of people that would disagree with me on that very statement. Maybe hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you mean I don't have to show my ID, so I kind of prove who I am to say what I mean?
Right.
Like, that seems pretty
Well, you
pretty
need
common sense.
You need a passport to leave this country and get back in. But anybody who's illegal can get one, come in for free. It's no big deal.
Oh, Tim, where you went there?
We'll save that for another time.
No,
we'll save it for
how
another
about
time.
the 30? What was it? How about the? It was like, is it $3,500 that they're gonna give people with like a credit card?
Your tax-paying money. People listening, that's your tax money.
Yeah,
going to people. Dude, this is. I can go off on this. We don't take care of our veterans.
I totally get why there's gonna be millions of people that are going to attempt to come here.
Oh yeah.
What I mean, like, and again, I'm not saying that's
it's
like
not
life.
families.
Yeah.
You're talking 30-year-old males.
What are you talking about, Tim?
Iran,
that would sound,
China.
That sounds conspiratorial to me.
No, we're gonna have to take that. we got to do a whole episode
I'm
of
joking.
that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know, but it's there's so much to that is bad. I'm all about people coming here to find a better life for themselves.
Yes.
Do it the right way, pay taxes just like the rest of us. But the weight of the illegal immigrants coming here, that's falling on us. That's falling on the people paying taxes. Who's going to pay for that? There's a hospital in New York that's $130 million in the red because of all the free healthcare they've been giving to the illegal immigrants that have been put in that city.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay for that? Like, but I'm saying it's like I don't like. I get it. Like, people want a better life, but you need to take care of your citizens and your people first. And the people who fought for this country, the veterans, there are kids getting kicked out of high schools so that illegal immigrants can sleep there. They can't go to school that day.
That just occurred.
Yes,
it was like
it just
a week
occurred.
or two ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I forgot what state it was. Was it in New York? It might have been New York, or there was.
I don't know.
I don't want to say which one it was because I can't remember. But that was the article line talking about that they had to shut down schools because they need temporary housing.
I think it's crazy. Why are we pushing veterans out of homes that are provided for them?
Yeah.
Shelters to house illegal immigrants who didn't fight for this country and our freedoms and sacrifice and go through what they went through. It doesn't make any sense. It's completely wrong.
And it's like it's the craziest argument ever too, because it's like if you take it like the side, like if I'm explaining my opinion on this subject matter,
Right.
There's no way like I'm not going to sound a little bit unempathizing towards people coming over here.
Right.
Because it's like, but this has nothing to do with that. There are a ton of people who are they're worthy, deserving, they deserve everything that they get, and they want to bring a hardworking lifestyle to our country.
Right,
to our state, really.
Yeah.
And totally contributors. And it's like, yeah, the problem is that it's like, that's not like everybody who comes here. And that's where the issues lie, because it's like, anyone who could be able to provide that, it's like 100%. Come here, do your thing, enjoy the opportunities that this country gives you. I totally agree with that, and I hope for the best for everyone that is here. But it's like when you have like this and a lot of it, I think too, is like political jargon. Like they're just trying to get you fired up because they're like, oh, this is what's most important. You're like, no, we have a shit ton of people here that need help, that need the assistance, and even those people that are on assistance, it's like, dude, that's a dicey area too, because it's like how many people take advantage, how many people are actually using it as a opportunity to move forward rather than relying on it. Yeah. So it's like there's so many cuts of this pie that we can't eat, let alone worried about the rest of shit going on in the world.
Right.
And that's where it's like it starts to become, it's like, you end up sounding like you're like, no, we should protect the borders. You're like, not because I don't want people to be here, but I feel like we have a ton of shit we got to sift through here. Yeah. So let's make this awesome, get better, and then have a system of bringing people in, because there's always going to be great people that come here. Yeah. And that's the bummer part, because you can't you can't snap your fingers and everyone could be where they want to be at once. There's a process to this shit. Yeah. And that would be if you and I packed our bags right now and we're like, we're going to anywhere, pick anywhere. Right. But you know what you're not doing? You're not getting there illegally. And if you do, they're going to kick your ass out, because there isn't another country that exists. I mean, maybe some Middle Eastern places, but they won't kick you out because they'll kill you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not...
It's crazy. Yeah, there's a picture I saw of Egypt, and we'll end that subject with this. Dude, it was like 3 storage containers high, and every story on the top part of the container had barbed wire. It looked huge.
Oh, no God.
Yeah, and they're like, guess where this is? Like, yeah, Egypt.
Okay.
Egypt doesn't want illegal immigrants here. So what's the big, they're showing all the countries that are doing it now, and there's countries that are paying for it. Germany, Sweden, like they have some madness that's been happening over there.
Something just happened in Spain the other day where they're having there's a lot. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
It's just a mess.
It's an issue that extends past just our country. We're not the only country.
And when people say, "Oh, it's not racist," it's really not. You need to protect your freaking people first. You have to. Take care of your country and your people first, and then start helping others. Why are we trying to take care of everybody else but our own? It doesn't make any sense. Right. It's so completely backwards. But anyways, the last thing I want to talk about here real quick is we have First Responders Night of Hope coming up. That is March 8th. I'm from Burgundy. March 8th.
Yeah, I was like, cue card.
Where's the cue card?
What Tim meant to say was, it is absolutely on March 8th.
My bad. March 8th, 2024. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. This is a night that's supported by the Fire Brigade, John Gary from San Diego. We have Dirty Deuce, Matt, he's in support of it. We have so many people. The Sea of Mud Apparel from Kyle Conforti. This is a night for first responders, fire, military, nurses, police, anyone that responds and help others. This is for you. This is for your families. This is all in support of the mental health of first responders, because we understand the toll that it takes on you. We are first responders, and this is something that I've had on my heart for a long time, especially coming back to my own faith. I'm a prodigal son, and I just had this huge feeling like, hey, our community needs help. And this has been in the works for some time, and it's going to be a great night. I hope to see everybody there. Jordan's going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be singing and doing part of the concert, and I'm also going to be speaking for the night.
Dude,
little nervous. Yeah.
It's like this, dude, just with more people.
Yeah. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I just want people to realize there's hope. Yeah. Whether you want to believe or not, but there's hope out there. There's an answer to what you're going through, and he's going to help you, and he loves you. And it's just going to be a night for everybody, our families. Everyone's invited, but all the money donations are going to go to First Responder Mental Health, which is through the Iverson Foundation. So I'm really excited about this. A lot of work has gone behind this, and I'm not getting paid for any of it. There's no money coming to me. Everything goes to the Iverson Foundation, and I just want our community to get together as one, as a big family, and celebrate and support each other, and realize that at the end of the day, no matter what, we're going to be all right. No. God's with us. He is for us. He's going to make a way. Even when you can't see, and it's dark out there, and you're going through a terrible time, it's going to be all right. Just give it some time. Have faith. Trust him. You're going to get through it. Let's go, baby.
I don't even know how to follow up what you just said. No, I think I think it's going to be awesome. And
I'm excited.
I think that not to kiss your ass, but I know that you've worked really hard on getting this going, and I think it's amazing, and I'm so excited to see what the time and effort and everything that you put into this will come to. And I think, and most importantly is this honestly, like, this represents what we discuss a lot on here. And and not to be super religious or anything along those lines, or maybe to be religious along those lines, but a lot of the premise of whether it's been guests on here, a lot of discussions, everything always seems to end up going to that version of hope and the explanation getting there. Or whether it's something happens in someone's life and they come to this, or someone happens in an experience and it changes their course, and then they autocorrect and go back towards this. I think it kind of all encapsulating a lot of the stuff that we discuss. So it's like, what a neat thing to have the representation with the brand of Let's Go podcast and going out there and doing what you've put together. And I think it's for a great reason. I really think that, it's like, look, we've beat this into the ground, but it's like, like people struggle, whether it's visible or not. And I think that having the open dialogue and, doing even the little bits that we've shared a lot of experiences talking with how we've either tried to help people or just being available to people or going through stuff ourselves, things like that, is that it's so important to have that communication factor. And I think doing this and having this like open display, hopefully there's a ton of people that show up. And I hope there's a lot of people that show up that maybe like aren't associated with all these other people. I hope that these people like get there and like it gives them a chance to be like, dude, I'm not alone. Like there's this huge group, whether it's you're finding, comfort in others here, or whether it's finding comfort in your faith or something to believe in just in general. Right. And that's what I think is so cool about it. Like, it's not just this whole, like, I'm going to jam it down your throat, Christianity. Like I was like, and you've said, and I've always used your quote, dude, like the relationship with your religion is like, it's gritty. But I think that's like the most, like, that's probably for everybody, but like the way looking at that, like it's a perfect way to describe it. And honestly, if we're going to rename it, I'd just call it gritty.
My God,
but
dude.
not hope is way nice. Like it's beautiful.
Statement, dude, it was tough to try and find a pastor to come speak. One, if you wanted a lot of money, like I had to raise money for this. I was going around asking for money. Let me tell you, I hate asking people for money. That's not me. And I had a few that I thought of and talked to, but honestly, at the end of the day, when I really thought about, like, I think the people who are going to connect with our first responders is a first responder. I'm going to talk. I'm just going to tell my story, what I've been through and what the Lord's done for me and how it's changed my life. And that's not about religion. It's about a relationship. And yes, you know what? If you have faith in the Lord, guess what? It's going to be ugly at times. It's going to be gritty because you're human. You're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. And things are going to happen to you that are out of your control. And it's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But there's still joy to be had in this world because you have hope. And that hope is in Jesus. And there's a way. It'll be fine. Like, I'm not about this whole, you got to make prayer, this whole thing where you got to be quiet, get on your knees. No, you know what? Guess who the Lord used when it was in the Gospels with the disciples? Those dudes were sailors. You don't think those were rough guys? They were not the best of people. They were the down and outers. Nobody wanted them around. Yet the Lord still used them. The woman at the well, same thing. She was sleeping with a bunch of men. Her husband's still at home. Guess what? Lord loved her and said, you know what? Just don't sin anymore. Get out of here. He didn't go to the well for the water. He went there for her. He uses people that are broken and messed up to show that you don't need to be perfect to make a difference. You just got to love God. You got to love him. That's it. It's a relationship, baby. Let's go.
I was like,
it's a relationship, baby.
I keep like double pumping because the bell's not right here. I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Anyways, dude, it's I'm excited for it. I hope to see everybody there. It's at Shepherd's Grove Church in Irvine. Go to our social media, our Instagram. The link is on there for you to donate. We have the flyer that's up there. We're going to keep pushing this for the rest of the month. Please bring your family, bring yourself, bring your father, your son, whoever you want to bring. Everyone's welcome, but just know it's going to be supporting first responders, and I'm excited. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be really good. I'm so nervous about this. You have no idea. Because this is not me, bro. This is not me.
I know it's not you. I'm just saying, like, well, okay. Part of me is like, so the singing part, I know you're going to be fine. Because I've seen you sing in front of a massive crowd. Yeah. So, but the speaking, I could totally understand that it's nerve-wracking. Because, like, public speak, like, I don't know. Like, I feel comfortable talking in front of people, but, like, I'm also not running it. You know? So, like, you know, like, there's a little bit of that where it's like, I don't know. I also feel like I never give myself too high of an expectation when it comes to, like, public talking. Yeah. I just feel like if I could string sentences together or not stutter, it's a win.
No, I feel you. You know, I look back on when we started this podcast, and even though I told someone this, they're like, "Oh, since you're a Christian, believer again, like, man, like, you're gonna take down some of those podcasts?" I said, "No, not at all." I said, "I want people to see that. I want people to see someone who was lost and someone who you can hear me struggling with my faith because I still talk about it, and then someone who came back to the faith. That's my story. Yeah, it needs to be on there. I have nothing to be ashamed of."
Nor should, I don't think you should either.
Yeah, no, it's staying.
But I think that's the point. Like, that's the point. Like, when you talked about the disciples being picked and being a bunch of sailors, or all these stories that are predicated off of people that had, like, would be considered broken lives in that standpoint. Yeah. Like, as far as, like, on a godly level. Yeah. I think that is the point. The point is to show people that, like, whatever you've done, wherever you've been, whatever messed up things that you feel like you are, like, you're not in the big picture, and you can change and you could reformat, and that shit ain't easy. So when I say that, it is not condescending in the slightest. It is very hard, but just knowing that you're putting the hard work in towards this, like, awesome thing after. Yeah. And I think that's important. And I hope people hear that. And I hope people, like, go, dang, dude, like, if they listen to old episodes, for sure, demeanor was a lot different, but I also think that's life, and we grow and we
change.
Well, that too. And I feel like, I know I don't sound different, but I feel like I talk a little bit better than I did before. Oh, yeah. Well, you for sure, dude. Yeah, no, I'm saying, like, because I feel like I was like, bro, like, the entire time. So I feel like I've been able to, like, rally a little bit, but anyway, dude, I'm super pumped, and I can't wait to.
It's cool.
Can't wait to be there at the Night of Hope, man. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be really good. I'm really excited to see your dad there. When your dad got baptized, that really touched me. Because I know, you've confided in me a lot. I know this, his story, but to see who he is now is touching. It's inspirational. It's beautiful. You're seeing God's mercy work in a man's life and change him,
Yeah. No, it was funny because when he texted me about that, I was like, "Oh, you should bring your dad." I told him, I was like, "Hey, you got to come to this," and he was like, "Oh, absolutely." No, it's awesome, and his life is, the ups and downs and everything, but you know what? At the end of the day, like, he's always been a really good example, and I really cherish my relationship that I have. Well, I have with both my parents. I'm very fortunate, dude. Like, I love my parents, and I absolutely, and like, it doesn't mean we're all messed up in our own ways, because we for sure are. But I definitely, like, I'm very, and especially as I get older, I just appreciate it a lot, and something I didn't realize when I was younger. But again, like, I kind of feel like all the craziness sometimes needs to happen to have these situations that you have afterwards. And it doesn't mean that, like, I want anyone to go through bad things. I just feel like the only way to, like, understand it is that, like, I think that I wouldn't be a different person, or I would be a different person if I didn't experience the things that I had. And, whether it's on the family level or on personal life or relationship, anything that put me where I'm at now. And I honestly am blessed, and I was saying that in the very beginning, and now it's like just life. Yeah. And that's what it is. And, you got to embrace it. And, and if it's bad, do your best to change it. If it's bad, open up a little bit or look outside the box just a little bit. Cause I guarantee you there's someone else out there. And, like, again, with what this represents, like, if you're struggling, if you're this, come, you're not alone, and I think that kind of mentality it'll bring good things for you. Oh, and, and hopefully the bigger part is it brings good things to other people. Yeah. So they can get a little taste of that. Cause I think that's what's missing in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. I'll end on this, man. I've been really working on writing what I'm going to talk about, which is wild because
You got ChatGPT.
no,
I'm just kidding.
no.
Write me a dope intro.
It's really, yeah, I know, right? No, but there's one thing that that I've written down. That's these are the things I'm going to talk about. But what hope does and having faith in Jesus is, He gives you forgiveness for your past, He gives you peace in the present, and hope for your future. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
I mean, dude,
yeah.
and that's what came to me. I remember thinking about the night and what I want for people to hear about the Lord and having that hope and that faith. And that's what it does. We all deal with that, the guilt and shame and, peace in the present. But what's going to happen? It's like, everything's going to be fine, man. Chill, baby.
Yeah, seriously.
It's going to be good. But, to end on this too, of what you said is a lot of times, and we all look back and say, "Oh, I can't believe I did this," and why did I go down this road? And every family has its dirt, but a lot of times our greatest failures and our deepest pains are a launching pad for what God's going to do in your life of something greater and better. You just got to get through it. Got to hold out, baby.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, dude.
Anyways, dude. Welcome back.
Yeah,
we're here, baby.
Okay, just if anyone has made it this far in the podcast,
yeah,
none of this was talked about. Not 1 second of it. In fact, the opener of this was, "What do you want to do?"
Yeah, we said, let's just see where it goes.
We'll shoot from the hip. We'll figure it out along the way. Anyway.
That's why I love it, dude. But,
absolutely.
It's great. We're on season 2. We got this. This is our first event for Let's Go.podcast, and we have such great support again from the Fire Brigade, Dirty Deuce, Sea of Mud Apparel, Public Square. There's just so much love and help coming to this that I hope this turns into an annual thing for us.
Absolutely.
And that we can keep moving forward with it and keep not just having people listen to the podcast, but be impacted by these events that we can put on. It's exciting. I'm excited. I'm nervous, and it's very stressful. But you know what? I think it's one of those things where there's no price tag on what we're doing for other people right now and how it's going to help them, inspire them, and give them, again, hope.
Yeah.
It's priceless, man. So let's do it, baby.
Let's do it.
Welcome back. Congratulations on the kid, man.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyways, let's go on 3.
Yeah.
You ready, dog?
Of course I'm ready.
Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening in. If you liked what you just listened to, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And a big shout out to Stephen Clark, our sound editor. He's a huge part of this team that is unseen. It's 89 Barbers, our first sponsor. Look good, feel good, be great. That is 2 locations, Orange, California, and Long Beach, California. Book your appointment online, 89barbers.com. Bye, everybody.